It's Cleopatra, and oh god, it's Netflix again. But before we begin, let's ask the question. Where have you been, this review crap writing? It's been like weeks since your last video. Well, my special little friends, I went to London and caught the coronavirus, so I had to take an extended nap time. But hang on, I never had my safe and effective. How did I not get killed to utter death? By using the power of bigotry, of course. Anyway, show begin, and we're off to ancient Egypt, where the kitchen was never cleaned, and all the women had agency, being like really bigly and strong, never bowing to the dirty men. Because in Fantasyland dreamed up by Will Smith's kidnapper, that was totally real history. But there was one woman who was more of a man than a female Disney protagonist. It's Cleopatra, who's definitely a descendant of ancient Greece. So let's check out what Bill Cosby has to say about all of this. Well, she's saying back in the olden times, she would come home from school and her mum would be like, what did you learn in school today, baby Cosby? And she said that she learned about a Greek queen, who was the descendant of Ptolemy XII, who was also very, very white, and it was even made in marble. So her mum told her, Bill Cosby, I don't care what hocus pocus they tell you in school, Cleopatra was black. But it looks like mum is wrong again. Because, like, we have the documented lineages. Like, this is recorded history. Anyway, let's go to 51 BC, where Cleopatra is studying for a female engineering degree. And she really wants to try out for the next Star Wars overly box ticks protagonist role. But she's getting a bit bored and it hits up some fentanyl underneath the table. And then her modern age servant comes in saying, it's time. Which means it's time. But what does it mean that it's time? It means her dad, who looks just like the statues, is dying of coronavirus. And he's telling her, don't trust anyone, Cleopatra, especially the police. It's a white capitalist power structure. We need to totally defund them. And it's like a really sad emotional scene. You know, like everyone's crying. I'm crying. Even my mum was crying and she's not even watching it. And now he's dead. What's Cruella the Stupid got to say about it? Well, she's just about done taking a knee and is now telling us that the Macedonians kicked out the Persians from Egypt and then they totally ruled it. Which obviously all happened in sub-Saharan Africa. And now that the king is dead and like Cleopatra is only 13 years old, she's gonna be the queen. But oh no, she better watch her back though because her brothers might do her a deletion to become the Lion King of Egypt. You know, like Macbeth and all that sort of stuff. So let's flip-flop. And now she's getting like all glammed up to do the queening. And the modern age servant is holding her engineering degree test saying, wow, you're like really stunning and brave. You got full marks and passed with an A. You should totally do Star Wars. And Cleopatra says like, what? And leave Egypt to be ruled by a bunch of utter melts. I've got queening to do. But here comes Boris Johnson because, well, they're making shit up, so can I. Who says don't say that, you'll piss off all the Greek people and then also the Egyptians by falsely representing their culture and heritage. Anyway, we're gonna go show you off to the people. Back to Cruella the Stupid, who's saying according to the scrolls, that dead king guy told her before he died, you're to rule with your brother dingus, so don't screw it up. And here they are all happily together and all that. But oh no, they're expected to do the sex together because they're going to be inbreds. Just like that guy with that really weird chin. It's travelling time because Cleopatra is on a pilgrimage to keep those Egyptians happy. Well, isn't it going so well? Everyone's happy. Great times. Because Bill Cosby is saying that Cleopatra really liked Egypt and really liked those little Egyptian fellas. And now she's gonna go and enjoy a local festival with her new friends. Anything else from Bill Cosby? Well, actually, yes, because she's saying apparently we don't know Cleopatra's heritage or who her mother was. So it wasn't Cleopatra the Fifth then. Maybe they should have just hired a real historian and not G.I. Jane. But stop right now, everyone, because racked with guilt for ancestral crimes that she never committed is saying we don't know anything about Cleopatra. You know, she could have been Egyptian descent and not Greek, maybe. So why are we remembering her as a European descendant? Well, you know, It doesn't matter because Wakanda Forever is actually concurring, saying, I imagine her to have curly hair like me and a similar skin colour. Which is obviously scientific evidence because you've got to be represented these days. If you aren't, just make it up. You know, when I watched The Rings of Power, I couldn't relate to any of the characters, so I began identifying as a ring and actually felt really represented by that show. Oh, I can't wait for season 2. Back to what's happening. Well, Rome is getting pissed at Egypt because the Nile never flooded that year, so they couldn't grow all of that 420 lit yeet. And here's Cleopatra, who's rolling up on horses confirming it, saying, Damn boy, it dry up in here. We should build some grain sheds. But what's going on in Rome though? It's Morgan Freeman, who's making wars and all that. And he's really pissed at Pompey, because Pompey owed him loads of money. So they're having a big fight about it. But let's leave that there and go see Cleopatra, who just rolled up to her brother Tamil's crib saying, Why are you not helping Pompey? Those guys totally helped us out when we were in debt and now they're all dying. So Nelson Mandela tells her, Look Shaq, we ain't got many soldiers and we kind of like living. We can't go fight on all these bloody wars, can we? That's what white people do. Besides, our protest budget is dried up for the year. But Cleopatra is like, You dingus! We're really deep in this one. Oh my god, stuff is gonna happen. Yo, we better watch out for it. So what's happening now? Well, evil Nelson Mandela is totally pissed off about that and then sends his guardsmen to go kill Cleopatra and then do a big old coup. And she knows that she's outgunned, so fucks off to Thebes, where Boris Johnson tells her, if you want to take back your super cool land and be that queen again, you'll need a really big army. Could I suggest the King's Guard? They have really cool deception hats, so you never know when you could do a headshot on them. But she ain't happy, saying, they look like freaking idiots. Screw this, I'm going to Syria to join ISIS for 2 years, where she raises her own little army. Oh, and also she's now a really kick-ass ninja? No idea if that's historically accurate, but I trust Netflix to display balanced and unbiased documentaries and not cringe girl boss moments. Sometime later, and now she's a kick-ass ninja engineer, war master, general lady of power, and they're trying to get some help by gaining the backing of Morgan Freeman. You know, Netflix's Julius Caesar. But they don't realise that evil Nelson Mandela ordered the beheading on Pompey, you know, the guy who was fighting earlier, because they thought that Morgan Freeman wanted him dead. But he actually didn't, and now everyone's totally mad about it. Which kind of works out for Cleopatra because she wants to get Freeman to help her become the queen again. And since he's already pissed at Nelson Mandela, he'll be like, sure, I'll help you. Or she would be completely fucked right now. Meeting time where Morgan Freeman is like, you're meant to be Cleopatra. Like the Egyptian chick born in a very strong European descent. Well, that completely checks out. Now everyone else, piss off. I want myself some white meat. So they get chatting about how evil baddie man Nelson Mandela is for doing the murder on Pompey. And he's like, yeah, I hate him. And she's like, oh my god, people keep dying suddenly. Let's be friends so it doesn't happen again. And he tells her, alright, but we're going to have to go do the sex though. So they're now dating and it's really, really sweet. And then Corella the Stupid pipes up saying, unlike typical stupid women, Cleopatra wasn't one of them. She was a world leader. Even though she wasn't. So that really helped them be a super cool power metal rock band couple and all that. You know, she was playing the bass, he was playing the drums, and they both did the singing together. And look, there's Simp Kid watching from afar. Quick flip, and here's Morgan Freeman telling all those silly gooses Rome recognises both Cleopatra and her brother Tamil, who I forgave, as the rulers of Egypt. But what do the youngest siblings get? They get Cyprus, of course, so they can avoid taxes and piss off Turkey. But wait a second, brother Tamil is now shouting off, saying, listen here, white boy, I don't like you, and you fucked my sister, which is totally My Little Red Rocket territory. So we're all gonna riot now and have a big war for some kind of reason, which I'm sure has a lot more to it in the history books, but you know, this is G.I. Jane's show. Well, that war raged on for ages, and now Cleopatra is pregnant with Morgan Freeman's litter, which will unite Egypt and Rome together. But don't ask the melanin levels of their unborn baby though, guys, because Meghan Markle will start more podcasts, and we really don't want that. But oh no, her brother just got deaded off a ship, because he started a war and now he lost it. And that means that Queen Cleopatra has won, and now she could be the big queen and stuff. She could be queen and then star in all the Disney Star Wars she wants. Although now that Morgan Freeman is leaving for Rome, she has to marry her even younger brother, which is a bit weird. And that's it. First episode finished. And wow, that was retarded. It's almost as retarded as getting globally humiliated by your wife and not dumping that bitch.
Subscribe button.
Is always right.